Hi. So we're making this video. This is going to be about.
This is our second video. So to answer the follow-up questions from our first video, which was about how why we're moving to Spain. So this video is about the process, the application process that we experienced when we applied at the LA consulate.
Right, because I feel like there wasn't a lot of information about what to expect when it comes to submitting your application or booking an appointment online and, like going to the consulate itself in LA. So we're doing this just so you guys would know what to expect.
What to expect, yeah. So the Los Angeles consulate are taking now in-person appointments. During COVID, they stopped taking in-person appointments and you had to email everything. So that's what we did. We gathered all of our documents first and then emailed that to the Los Angeles consulate on September 13th. But we didn't hear from them, and then we just got lucky. And one night I was checking through the online appointment system, and finally there were appointments available. So we were able to book two appointments for October 18. And, we had all of our documents ready. The documents would have expired I think like end of October. So we got really lucky there. Right now we saw that appointments are very hard to come by at the LA consulate. So keep checking I think they release it every midday, they said. So I think like 11 a.m. Appointments are free. Don't pay somebody. I saw someone say like there was an appointment online for sale for $700. Like, don't do that.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Nice.
So
well, that's the reason why we wanted to make this video too, is because the people who got the appointments, and just like what she was saying, that it's so hard to get the appointments. Some people when we went to the consulate, they weren't ready. They were asking questions during their appointment.
Yeah, they didn't have all their documents. So, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, they did. Yeah, no, they didn't. I guess they didn't expect that it was going to be harder to book an appointment. So just make sure you guys are ready, and hopefully this video helps you out.
So first thing you got to do would be to kind of select the target date that you want to move. So if, for example, like us, we wanted to leave around December, so we counted 3 months back because they said it could take up to 3 months for them to give you a response. So 3 months back is when we were looking for where we want our appointment to be, which means that we have to, maybe around July, we were already checking if there were appointments for August, September, October. So that was kind of the window that we were looking at. So we got an October appointment. And then from there, that's when we started, that's when you should start gathering your documents. But in our case, we already had our documents because we emailed them first. So we found our online appointment in October. And but to kind of walk you through what our timeline looked like, you'll find a list of the documents that you need from the consulate that you're applying to. So you have to be a resident at that specific consulate that, for example, for us, we're in Orange County, so our consulate was Los Angeles.
You have to be a legal resident?
Yes,
right, yeah.
Yes, you have to be a resident. You don't have to be like a green card holder or a U.S. citizen. As long as you're residing here, you can prove your lawful presence, then you can go ahead and apply at that consulate.
Right, you can't
even a student visa.
Okay, as long as you don't go to the U.S., for example, as a tourist, and then you apply from the U.S.,
yeah.
it's not gonna work.
Yeah, you can't be a tourist. You can't be a tourist visa holder to apply. You have to apply at your home country if you're a tourist here right now. Well, since ours was a little different, but I'll just kind of show you like the timeline of how everything was. It took us about a month to get everything ready because we didn't really have an exact order of how long things were. But I think if we had known like what to do first, we could have gotten everything done in about a month. So it took us about a month and a half because we were kind of prolonging things a bit. Like we wanted to really think about the letter of intent that we wanted to present, and then we had to have that translated, and then we had to have that notarized. So we'll go over all of those in a separate video, but now we just wanted to talk about like that application process for Los Angeles. So first, book the appointment. Second, gather your documents. Once you have everything, read. You're gonna need some of them translated, and again, that will be in a different video. So after all of that, once you have everything complete, read again the list of requirements and look for the ones where they say you need to provide a copy. Because some of them you don't need photocopies, the others, and some of them you will need copies of. So just make sure you're prepared for that. For us, we had copies of everything just to make sure. We even had blank forms because we didn't know if we did things right, which we ended up not using. So
we had it in, she put it in binders, and she put it separate binders for me and her, and then a separate binder that says copies of the original. So I could start first. As soon as we got to the building, we didn't know where to park. Like there's no sign for parking, so it turns out you go on the right side of the building and then you park underground. And it's just a really tiny building where I didn't really expect it to be that small. Okay, we just got to the embassy.
consulate.
Consulate, the Spanish consulate, and it took us about an hour to get here. So far, it doesn't look like it's too busy, so hopefully they're in a good mood, and we can't wait to do the interview. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. Okay, wish us luck. So as soon as we got to the lobby, we logged in and hopped onto the elevator. We went straight to the room, and it's a really small room.
The waiting room is probably as big as our living room, at least like for the customer side, for the civilian side. For the consulate side, I'm sure there's more there, but for us, it could only seat, well, because everything was spaced out, I think it could only seat like 8 to 10 people.
Yeah, 14 at the most, right. I think, yeah.
It's like a bank where there's a glass window and you go to the teller, but everybody can hear, basically everybody can hear conversations. But, with the appointment, they do have, you are already on the list. They will call your name, you go up to the window, and then you explain everything. For me, I went first, even though he was the principal. I was just there supposedly as the dependent. But my appointment came first. So that's what we did. I sat down. The moment I sat down, the lady said to me, okay, for this visa that you're applying, if you don't have all of your documents, I'm not going to accept it. You're going to have to book another appointment and come back.
If you don't have all of your documents, I'm not going to accept it. You're going to have to book another appointment and come back.
And I'm like, okay. I knew I had everything because we triple checked everything. She goes, and you can't work, not even remotely. I'm like, okay, yeah. So we were prepared for that. We were able to answer her questions, which wasn't a lot, really. They just asked me, how much money are you taking? So I wrote it down and I gave it to her. Everything that she asked was pretty much in order of how it was listed in the website. So I had that in order too, and I'm like, here you go, here you go, here you go. Yeah, I had everything that we needed. And then all she did was my bank. We had a business checking and business savings account under Paul's name, but it wasn't a grand total of both accounts. They gave me a total of one and a total of another in two separate letters, and she wanted them combined. And so she goes, after my appointment, to go get that from the bank and mail it to her. But then I looked up, Chase was there close by, so I walked all the way on Wilshire Avenue to go get it, and then come back with the most recent bank balance. Like, here you go, this is what I could get from them today. So it kind of proved a little bit more that we were capable. We did meet the requirements, because I think she was kind of I wouldn't say dubious, but she wasn't expecting us to be there, because a lot of people consider it as a retirement visa, like you're expecting a pension. But really, the requirement is as long as you can afford to live there. So we had savings. We saved as much as we could.
She must have thought we were really young, like in our 20s.
Me, maybe. Because I went first.
So as soon as she was done, she headed straight to Chase, which was like
To our
0.7 miles away or
Yeah,
something.
so I walked all
And
the way
then
there.
there were two ladies in front of me. I think they're both students because it was like a really easy, fast process. And in my head, the night before we actually reviewed everything, like our letter of intent. She reviewed it to me because she did the letter,
I did
and
all
then
the paperwork. Yeah.
and then she was reviewing it to me like this is what we put, and I'm like I don't remember
I had
anything.
to review, yeah.
So we reviewed that. We reviewed all of the paperwork that we were filing, and when I got to it, when it was my turn, I handed her whatever she needed. She didn't need uh, a lot because she already knew from her filings. So she was just looking for like the taxes, which you didn't provide.
I
right?
didn't provide the tax return, so I think she kind of figured he would have that.
And so my first tip,
Quick tip.
especially if you guys are a couple and
Someone else,
bro,
yeah.
man to man.
If only one of you guys really prepared the entire
Yeah,
documents.
I'm talking about to my guys. I'm pretty sure our ladies are the ones who have
all the
done
paperwork.
the paperwork. Just make sure you review everything. Make sure you know where her questions are. Like, what did she ask me?
She asked you where was your benefit
And I
in
have
the tax return.
I had no idea if I had benefits or not. So I was going through. It was just a 4-page thing, but I felt like I was going through 32 pages, just going back and forth, and I was panicking. So I was texting her and saying, "Hurry back," because now I keep on texting her and
And I was, of course, walking back, so I had to run because this guy was like, now, come back now, like panicking because he didn't know what his tax return looked like.
yeah.
Like,
So
he didn't know what was in his tax return, I mean.
so you guys make sure, and I apologize to her because
He did not apologize.
I didn't apologize.
Did not apologize.
But yeah, just make sure you guys know what you're filing. At least like have a
When they
general
ask you
knowledge.
where's your Modelo 790, I think 052, where's your TASA? You have to be able to give that. Where's your form EX01? You have to be able to give that. So you just have to know the names when they ask you. You can't just like, here, look for it. They're
Oh,
not
yeah,
gonna
no.
like that. So
Because I think it's because they close early.
yeah, they close at 1, by the
Yeah.
way. So our appointment was 10. Mine was 10:40.
Mine was 11:40. But I didn't
And
sit until
12:15.
something.
12 something. Yeah, I left for the bank at around maybe 11:30, and I walked over there, and then I asked Chase to provide me whatever they can provide me, then walk and then ran the last 2 blocks. And I barely made it there back at 1 p.m. At 1 p.m. they locked the doors. So I could hear people like trying to get in, but the doors are already locked.
Yeah.
So you have to make it there back at 1 o'clock.
So you have to make sure you're prepared. No, you don't. You're not supposed to ask questions. That's what online forums are for. Like that's what Facebook groups are for.
Yeah, we encourage you to look at that.
Once you get your application, your appointment, and you get to the interview, you're not supposed to ask questions. They're the ones who are supposed to ask questions, not you.
Yeah. So, and then, so when he was waiting for his interview, there was a lady where she was picking up her documents or her passport. Her application didn't like materialize, like they didn't approve her. And the reason, like, okay, so you're going to tell this part. Okay.
She got there and she was asking for the documents
There's
back.
a lot.
And it was
She
like
had
a
so
huge
much.
box, like a shoe box, and it won't fit through the window. So they told her, okay, just go around the door. We'll meet you there. And I wasn't trying to like eavesdrop or anything, but it's a tiny room, so you could hear what they were talking about. And the lady from the consulate was pretty much saying that the third party people are making it a little complicated for you. We just need this exact requirements
From the website.
and you're giving us more than what we need.
It's
She
just
was saying,
complicated things.
yeah, the middle person is complicating everything. So just bring what they're requiring. And she said, we will help you file.
We're
which
just here
is
to help you.
which amazed me because just like when it comes to like immigration and our experience, it wasn't like the easiest.
It wasn't friendly,
Yeah.
but they were very friendly. Strict, of course, but I feel that because they were strict, if they passed her scrutiny, then when they pass it to Madrid, they will be approved, right? So, for example, I think he overheard that they were processing about 1,800 applications at around that time, and they were all approved. So, like as long as you're just very you pay attention to the details of those documents, and if not, then watch the other video we're doing right after this.
Oh, actually, an important note is
Quick tip.
when you have your paperwork, one of our paperworks, it's called a background check, and it's apostilled, which means, what does apostilled mean?
So it's like the Secretary of State approves it and says, yes, this is our legal document. It came from us. It's like a notary that internationally is recognized. It's the Apostle of the Hague.
So just so you have an idea why I was texting her to come back immediately, when the consulate people saw
at
the
the
document, they looked at the apostle, they saw that the staple on the document was removed and put back in a different hole. So she's like, this is not going to be accepted because you're not supposed to take it out. And I know for a fact that she didn't take it out, but maybe she did. So I was like, come back
Set with
now.
me.
And so I was just really panicking. But make sure that your documents are stapled properly and apostilled properly.
Yeah, they like their stamps and seals.
Everything
So that's-
stamp.
Yeah, so
Stamp
that's
everything.
Very OG.
Doctor's
Spain.
note
Yeah.
needs to be stamped, everything.
So so we'll go over those documents again later. But yeah, because we had everything, it took them 11 days to give us an answer. So they just emailed us to say like you can pick up your visas. So we heard from them on a Friday afternoon at around 2:30. So they just emailed us, and then Monday morning we were there when we picked them up, and it was just that simple. They gave us instructions on how to create an appointment for when we get to Spain. So our visa is valid, our entry visa to Spain is valid from December 10 until March 20 something, which means that we have about 3 months for us to get our butts over there. And then from there, I think that's when our 1-year residency will start. So we just have to kind of log all that.
Right. And I would say that the response times are different. Like we have a friend from San Diego. He got his response in 10 days.
10 days, and it was a phone call. So I even said, what was the phone number? I'll save it.
Yeah. So for us, like we were driving, and it was the 11th day. Like the 10th day, I was already like
Yeah,
super
so,
nervous.
yeah.
Nothing was happening. So we were driving on the road. She sees that she has a new email, and then she read it out loud. I cried in the car. I don't know if you were crying.
I wasn't crying, but it was like very joyful.
Yeah.
I was like so in disbelief, right? So yeah, so that was like how long the wait was. So
Yeah. Let me see if.
different.
Viewer question.
So Napoleon asked if, in your application, did you do it yourself or with a lawyer or agency in Spain? So just in case you haven't seen the whole thing, we didn't. We just did it
We
ourselves.
did it ourselves, but we did join Facebook groups for a year. So we joined July of last year to ask questions, just general things, and kind of just read through them, just check it from time to time, and people will share their experiences. So there were really nice, very nice gentlemen who separately messaged me to help us and encourage us. So I want to give a shout out to Adele and Tito Bobby. So they were the ones who, Adele was the one who encouraged us and said, like, you don't need a lawyer, you will be fine, just follow the instructions. And then Tito Bobby was the one who reached out to say, like, okay, this is what you're gonna do first. And that's how we got the ball rolling. And, like, it's very daunting to read, like, 15 things that you need to provide, right? But the moment like we got that first, and it was like, I think the most difficult one was the background check, and that was the first thing we did. After we did that, that kind of like got everything rolling. So yeah, join Facebook groups, kind of read through them, ask questions. I think for us, it was more of, will they allow us to apply in the U.S. even though we're not green card holders? So that was the first thing. We were in an E2 visa, and yes, so that was really nice. A lot of people in the forums would complain that, like, say the LA consulate will not respond to emails. They did respond to me twice because I had valid questions that that were not found in the website. So if it's a question that can be found on the website, they're not going to respond to you because they get 1,800 applications. Imagine if they all had questions. But don't be discouraged, and really, like, compare that to immigration here. I mean, have you ever emailed the immigration here? I mean, they also probably won't respond, right? You're also going to be too busy. Same thing.
I think that's why we were so happy when we got the approval in 11 days, because it's just a breath of fresh air. Like, it's not the immigration process here in the U.S. and in Spain is totally different.
Very, very different.
Very different.
Yeah.
And all you need is to just follow the requirements, which are super easy because it's very straightforward. And just follow the requirements. Be nice. Be courteous.
Be respectful. Like, we were dressed up. He had a suit on. I had a button-down shirt, and I think that kind of you just want to, like, show them, like, look, I'm here. This is serious for me. It's like, it's almost like if you're going to a job interview, right?
Yeah, I guess it changes the demeanor too. Like, for us, like, I remember that's why I was wearing a suit, my lucky suit, not my favorite suit, but my lucky suit. And I remember my friend Alex Espinosa, he said, you can never be overdressed to anything.
Right.
So, just since we didn't know what we were going to expect with the consulate, just wear a suit.
I mean, you're
looks snazzy.
You're meeting someone that's representative of Spain, who's gonna decide if they want to let you in or not. So
don't come in with like a Nickelback shirt and like flip flops.
What you gonna do with Nickelback?
No, I'm just saying, just kind of like
any band shirt.
No band shirts, just plain.
No
See, like, plain shirts.
No basketball jerseys.
Only Spain shirts.
Yeah.
So I hope this video helps out. Please ask us any questions in the comment section below. We'd really appreciate it. We want to help, and we'll see you in the next video.
U.S. resident alien card or valid U.S. long-term visa. So we showed our I-797, which is our our residency visa. It wasn't attached to our passport, so it was a letter from immigration. And the lady who I talked to knew what an I-797. What? What? The whole thing?
Yeah.
You want me to do the whole thing?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry.
Right, but we have this.
Yeah, I just started it. I thought this was recording. That's why I'm like.
Kill you.
Sorry.
I'm gonna kill you. Okay, just stop that then.